Today I'll give you some Yule inspiration. Keep watching. I'm Brandy, and this is Making It My Own DIYs. Welcome back. What is Yule? It refers to a historical pagan festival celebrating the winter solstice, typically observed in December, and marks the shortest day and the longest night of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. Yule celebrations involve various traditions including feasting, lighting candles and fires, exchanging gifts, and honoring the return of longer daylight hours. Eventually it was incorporated into Christmas. The first ornament is moss ornaments. So I have a variety of mosses. This is just a bag that I have with 3 different types of moss scraps. I have this moss, it's preserved moss. Some little paper stickers that look like, well, they're loose papers, cutouts, I guess, of leaves. And then I have several of these ornaments. We're going to do 4. So you can get the ones from Craft or Square any time of year. We're going to need some things to fit inside, so we're going to have some pine cones. These little pieces that come in the potpourri that you can get from Dollar Tree. Little acorns. This is just an artificial acorn. Cinnamon sticks. Wood. This is a branch that I have. And then these are from Dollar Tree. These are little stick pieces from Dollar Tree. And I also have some Spanish moss. So we will cut off the hangers, remove stickers, any of those things. We're not going to need these. We'll do something different. We'll pop the tops off of these. They just pop right out. And we'll put them aside. You can see everything is going to need to fit in that top. We're going to spray paint these in a green color. Doesn't really matter. I just got hunter green because that's what I had on hand. I'll spray paint those and let them dry. And then we'll start working on these ornaments. So we're going to put things in these balls that are nature inspired. We're going to use moss, we're going to use pieces of wood, cinnamon. All of the things have significance for protection and healing and prosperity. You can easily look up Yule to get all of that information. And these are very pretty. They end up looking like what everybody is kind of going with now, that woodland look. If I would have had some mushrooms that would have fit in here, I would have added those as well. I'm just going to use a stick to help me put these in here. And I like the idea of layering the different types of moss. If you put the pine cones in upside down, they'll fit in there better and they won't lose their shape. And then I have these cinnamon sticks. I got a bundle of these at the thrift store. It is real cinnamon. If you rub them together, they smell absolutely fantastic. They smell so good. So I'm just going to put these into little manageable pieces so that I can place them down in each of these little baubles or these little ornaments. Just to show you, you can use pieces of wood, you can break them, you can cut them, saw them, whatever you want to do here. I'm just going to add these for a little woodland aesthetic. And obviously if you were doing these and you wanted it to be more natural, you could use things that you preserve yourself, and you can go out into the woods and get your own things, and you ideally would not use anything that is plastic or whatever in here if you're looking for the effects that you're supposed to get at Yule. Okay, and by that, what I mean by that is when you make these ornaments, you are supposed to put intention into them as you are making them. So, you're just thinking into your head about things that you want and that you need in your future and for protection for your family, protection while we're driving down the road, protection while we're in our homes at night, protection from negativity that, you can get in the form of people, the news and all that. Just put some intention into it when you do it. And it's supposed to actually be helpful for you. And I know that I have some witches and some pagans in my viewer pool. So if you would like to give more information, I would love to have some more information down here so that I can share that as well and our viewers can share it. So be sure you check out the comments if you're interested in that. I feel like, now more than any other time, I guess, it's important for us to learn to embrace the differences in one another, to accept one another for who we are and how we live and our own beliefs. As long as you are not doing harm to anyone, I feel like it is completely okay for you to believe what you want to believe. And I love nature. I've always loved nature. I am going to use nature in my project as much as I can, as much as I can incorporate them. Okay, so now I'm just putting some of those little paper leaves in there. This just looks very fall-like to me, and I think that is just gorgeous. But like I said, you could use some natural leaves. You don't have to use paper. Just all depends. All depends on what you like. We're going to make it our own on this channel, right? And if you go and get everything out of your yard, then it's free, except for, a couple of the little ornament that you would have to buy and stuff like that. Now see, I save all the scraps of my moss, and I'm just kind of putting that dust down in the bottle. And each one of these are a little bit different. There's more pine in one, there's more, or evergreen rather, in one, there's more cinnamon in one, there's leaves in one. This is artificial, but you could definitely get them out of your yard or your garden, or wherever you can find greenery. I'm just going to cut a couple of these pieces off. This is just to inspire you to do your own. So, it's not actually 100% natural, but it's going to give you the inspiration you need, and you'll get the idea. So I'm going to put those in here. And of course, I'm going to add the cinnamon. Y'all, I've been sick, so my voice is weird, and I'm just working through some things. But I'm here today. I'm sorry the video is a little bit late, but we're going to get you straight. I'm going to try to get back on track here. As long as the fever stays down, I can actually talk. So that's a good thing. Now, I really like the look of these. These are definitely something that I will be saving to put onto my tree for next year. This year, things did not exactly happen like I expected them to. So, kind of a curveball, but we keep going, right? All right, so we're going to put those tops back on. And I wanted it to be green because I want to take that metallic look out to give it more of an earthy look. So I'm going to add those back on. They just pinch, you just pinch those wires together like you see me doing, and then push the cap down. And if it curls under, just lift it back up and pull it back out. Not a problem. Pretty easy to fix. Same here, going to kind of pinch them, poke those little wires in there, and they'll flare outwards, and your lid will lock down. Now, I've always got to be extra, so I'm going to add to the top of these a little bit more. So the one that has the fir pieces or the evergreen pieces, I'll add a pine cone to. The one with the leaves on the inside, I'm going to add some on the outside. And just like that. And you could also wrap these tops with jute if you don't have spray paint. Or you could chalk paint them. So here's a branch that is from my yard. This is pine. I've already trimmed a little bit on it. And I'm going to use this right at the top here. It smells so wonderful. When I was doing these crafts, my entire studio just smelled amazing. Now these pieces were too big to go into the containers, but I really wanted to use them. So I decided to put two together and use them on the top of the one that has a lot of moss in it. They look like flowers, don't they? But I think there's some type of a seed pot. All right, and then just another little piece of that pine because it smells so wonderful. The next one is going to be a mistletoe tree, and we're going to use this with those ornaments. So this is a mistletoe branch. You've probably seen this before if you watch my Halloween videos. I have this little branch and I saved it, and I'm going to put it right down in this candle stand. It happens to fit perfectly. So I'm just going to flood the bottom with some hot glue. And I'll push this down, and here I didn't even bother taking that piece of jute off. I just left it on there. I'm going to take some matte Mod Podge and go around the top here after that branch has had a chance to dry in there, or to the glue has set up rather. I'm just going to add this on, and then I was talking to you about the dust that is left out of the moss, or the little tiny pieces of moss. I'm going to use that of course, I'm going to keep using it. I'm not going to throw that in the trash. I'm going to go around the top with it. And then I thought, you know what? I know something else we can do to this to make it special. We're going to take these beautiful little ornaments that we made. I'm going to use jute to hang them. I'm going to wrap them around here. You can see what I'm doing. Very simple little knot. And then I push the knot up toward the end. But don't go all the way to the end because it will, your knot will slip off. So I'm just going to try to make sure I have about the same distance on each one so that I can hang them on my tree. And then I had, like I said, we're going to do something special to the little mistletoe tree that we're making over there to give it a little something different. However, if you don't have the time to do this, or if you don't like to do the step, then you can always just skip it and leave it just like this. And I think it's beautiful the way it is. Now the little candle stand that I have was one that was black, and I sanded it down and distressed it and then put wax on top of it. And that was a few months ago, I think. And so it's had a chance to soak in, and you can see that it's got some rough spots on it. You could actually put bark on this if you wanted to just really liven it up. Okay, so we have all of our ornaments made, and I love them, of course. Now, I'm going to get a string of lights. These are in a pack of lights that I got from Temu, and there's 3 settings. Excuse me, there's a setting that is a fast flash, one that is a slower flash, and one that is a solid, where the lights are just on the whole time. I have had success here and no trouble with using hot glue to place these down. I've been doing this for quite some time now. You do what you feel is safe. Safety first, always. I don't want any of my people getting hurt. But, just start wrapping this around, and then you can place a little hot glue here and there to hold it on the curves of this piece if you need to. I'm going to wrap it from the bottom, and I'm going to wrap it all the way up onto the branch. Now, when I got to the branch and I thought I would stop, I had some more string lights left, so I thought, well, let's just see if we just take a few pieces of branches and work our way down and back up if we can't do a little something special here. So then I'll come to the other side, and I'm going to wrap a little bit. I don't have enough to do the entire thing, but I don't think it's necessary. The idea of these little fairy lights is just to give it maybe the look of fireflies or the look of, fairies. I really like that. And I thought this really took it to the enchanted level, which I think is very sweet and pretty. And pretty trendy, I guess you could say. So I had enough to do these. Then I'm going to go back around, wrap a little more, and then I'm going to decide where to position the little power pack so that it is on the branch and we can turn it on and off, because there's really no room down there on the bottom to put it where it kind of disguises it. So we're going to disguise it with a little bit of hot glue and moss and make it look like it belongs here. All right, now I'm going to go around with my hot glue. I'm going to quickly work to put the glue down and then push some moss right into the glue track. All right, now you can see there where it's got some distressing on the candle thing. All right, I'm going to go around and disguise this silver wire. So what if you don't have moss, you don't want to do it like this? Well, you could always go back over the wire with some black chalk paint. And it looks like a vine wrapping around, and I think it's a very pretty look. Then I'm going to go back. I'm not going to do anything with the top of it. Again, you could paint it if you wanted to, but I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to add some hot glue on here, start placing it around my battery pack, making sure that I don't cover up my switch because I need to be able to turn it on and off. But I'll disguise most of the white here. It's very, very easy to do. Protect your fingers, you know. Alright, for a little more embellishment, I decided that I would take a couple of the pine cones, add them to the bottom, and add them to the end of a few of the branches. Even way up there on the top. You can watch my videos on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. It's free to subscribe, and I'll see you in the comments. The next is going to be a wishing cone. Alright, so you're going to need a pine cone, a little piece of jute, a pencil and paper, and some scissors. This is a regular piece of printer paper, so what is that measurement? Like an 8 by 11, something like that? To help you get your line straight, if that sort of thing is important to you, you can use folds in the paper to make your lines to help you cut. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to fold these and make little sections. And the first sections I made were actually too big. I should have folded this twice, but I only folded it once. You can use like a bone, the little bone tool, or you can use your back of your scissors to push these down. Like these, I'll be cutting these in half after I get my writing on there. So now what you're going to do is you're going to think about the things that you want in your coming year or that you want in your life right now. And you're going to write those down on each slip of paper. I'm giving you some examples of things that you can look for that maybe you could put down on your paper. You can see they're just joy, peace, love, harmony, those types of things. And I'm going to take each one of those and I'm going to be folding those. I want to put this on my tree like an ornament. So I'm going to use a little knot in the jute and I'm going to push this down right in the top with this beautiful little pine cone. And this pine cone my son actually found for me. Then I'm going to roll each one of these and tuck these down in the pine cone. You can put like the smaller ones toward the top and the larger ones toward the bottom so you keep that cone shape if that sort of thing matters to you. If not, you can just poke those here and there however you like it. And you'll continue along until you get all the way around and all of your wishes into the cone. You can always put prayer in here, you know, prayers, whatever you like. It's symbolism. That's, you know, that's what it is. It symbolizes something. It doesn't, you know, everything, people try to put everything into the box of what's good and what's bad. And I think a lot of the problem is that people fear what they don't understand. And if you'll just educate yourself on some things, you'll realize that, number one, you're not raised with the best information. You are raised knowing the information that those around you knew. And so that's how they raise you. That's the information they give you. But, you know, if you would just educate yourself, you'll learn that we are all so similar in so many ways. And beliefs cross over here and there quite often, actually, when you start investigating. So, you know, just keep that in mind, okay? Now, this is just some pine. I've just tied it, so I have like a little broom or a little swatch up here. I'm going to put it at the top of this pine cone because I think it smells wonderful. And then a little pine cone on the top. Ideally, you could burn this and release those wishes and dreams out into the atmosphere. Pine cones will burn easily. They're a good fire starter. Thank you to my channel members. I hope y'all are all enjoying your Christmas cards. I'm a little late getting mine out. So if you haven't got a card, it's probably me. So, I love y'all. Yule Wreath is going to be our next project. Alright, look at all these goodies. So we got pine cones if you want to use them. I've got some more of the pine branches. This is artificial ivy, but you'll want to use the real thing. Artificial holly, but you'll want the real thing. And artificial mistletoe. Here's the real deal, cinnamon sticks. Oh, see, that's what I mean. Rub them together and smell them. They're fantastic. And this is like a charger, actually, for plates that I got at the thrift store. So I'm going to put this together in kind of a wild or natural way. I'm not going to make this, anything crazy. This would be something anybody could do, even a beginner. I'm going to take those three, overlap them onto one another, and then wire them together. Nice. Again, they smell wonderful. I'll grab some more of my floral wire and then wire it down onto the piece. Y'all know I generally like to put mine, kind of lay it out first and see how I want it to be before I put everything down. So I did do that. Okay, now I'll start putting down this ivy, and the ivy was actually given to me. The ivy is actually on what looks like little chains, so it makes it very easy to attach down to the wreath form. So the same thing here. I'm going to go toward the outside and wire those on. Okay, and then once I get those pieces down, I'm going to go back in with my smaller pieces. So I'll add in my holly, and I'm just kind of going like from the outside to the inside, outside, inside. These are the last few pieces of this thrifted holly that I had left from my Christmas decor stash. And then I will go and add in the mistletoe. And I'm just kind of adding it between where the holly is. I like that we have the white berries and the red berries in there. Very pretty. Fluff a little bit. I decided to use the mini pine cones, and you can get these at Dollar Tree or something similar. And I'll add those here and there. Until it's as full as I like it. And this is how the top part is going to look once it's all together. You can fluff a little bit. Now the cinnamon sticks actually can be broken in half. I'm going to break these into different size pieces for the next part of this wreath project. So we're going to make a star. I think we can all agree that a star is pretty basic for Christmas or holiday or Yule decoration. So this is something that anyone could definitely add to their Christmas. We're going to cross that cinnamon over onto the other one at the top like a little pyramid. Depending on the way that your cinnamon sticks are twisted, you can kind of decide what should overlap on the next part. And it's almost like when you're drawing a star, you know the pattern, you know how it goes. Then I'll go across here. And then we'll add the top piece. The cinnamon sticks are pretty tough, but they're also a little bit brittle, so you can kind of snap the ends so that they will lay closer to the next piece that is beside it, if you want to do it that way. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my jute and wrap around and twist around my star in all of the areas that they are connected. It's going to cover up the hot glue, and it gives it a nice look. I'm just weaving it in and out about 4 times, and then I'll wrap it back over itself down, and then twist it to the back, or whichever side you want to be the back. Then I can tie those 2 pieces together. Add a little hot glue so that it doesn't slip, and trim off the edges or the extra. And we're going to do that to every point of the star. Tying that around one section, leaving a bit of a tail on that tie. In and over, in and over. You know, you can do that as many times as you would like. And then you can wrap back downward. If you don't want to tie the knots, you don't have to. You could just use glue for the whole thing if you'd like. I just like the finished look that this tends to give it. So who's finished Christmas shopping? Anyone? Not me. Unfortunately now, I am really behind, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so now we're going to go with another piece of that jute, go through the top of the star, through the bottom of the wreath, and I'm going to tie the same knots you've been seeing me tie, like for the ornaments and such. It works for me, so it's my go-to. Then I am going to push that knot up toward the wreath so that it is not shown, and this is our wreath. You could also put your star in the wreath if you would like, totally up to you. So here are the projects that we did. There's that little wishing cone. You could put that in your fireplace. Then you could light a fire with it. You could light your Yule log with it. I want you to believe in yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt what you're capable of. You are capable of so much, and our thoughts mean so much. Try to keep yourself in a good headspace. Try to keep focus on healthy thoughts and situations. Use the earth and the things around you in nature to ground yourself. I know y'all have heard me talk about this before. This is nothing different. I want to thank you for being here and for being here the entire year. If you haven't been here the entire year, I do recommend that you subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up so that I can make more content like this, and that you hit your notification bell, and then go check out all of the playlists from the things that we have done this year. Check out this channel. Make sure it's something that you want to invest your time in. I do appreciate you being here, of course. Whether you're a viewer, a member, or a subscriber, every bit of it matters. There's a lot of helpful information down in the description box of my channel. You are free to go down there and check everything out. I'm active in the comments, so if there's anything you'd like to say or ask, I would love to chat with you a bit. As always, I thank you so much for stopping by and seeing me today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!